Hi, this is Josh, and I live in the US. Welcome to EnglishMaster.com.my. Today we're going to go over a little bit about present simple verbs. I'm not going to go into super detailed explanations, but this is just a general overview and an introduction for you guys. First of all, I'd like to categorize the different forms that present simple verbs often take. You have, importantly, affirmative and negative. So what affirmative is it affirms that something is happening or is true, and negative is that you don't do the verb. So with affirmative, for example, here on the screen, I drink tea. I is first person, and so you don't have an S on the verb drink. But if you were to replace that with third person, such as he or she, you would add an S. He drinks tea, she drinks tea. Same goes with that second example. If I was to say, I work at home, notice there's no S. But he or she works at home, there is an S. That's for affirmative. Now with negative, I don't drink tea. He doesn't drink tea. Notice that there is no S for the negative there for either first person or third person, but the do verb changes. I don't drink tea. He doesn't drink tea. Now for negative, you aren't going to add an S for third person like you do in affirmative. An interrogative is anything that is based on a question. So if you're asking a question, do you drink tea? Or if you were to say, do I drink tea? Yes, I do. It's the same idea. I'm asking a question and there is no S on either first person or third person. One of the first uses for present simple verbs are repeated actions. And so this is something that might happen every day, something that is scheduled, an event, or something that goes on as usual. So here are some examples of routines in the present simple. If I were to ask you, what time do you wake up in the morning? You wouldn't say, I am waking up at 6:30 a.m. Because this is a routine, you must say, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. Same thing with the second example. If I was going to ask you, what time do you eat breakfast? You're not going to say, I am eating breakfast at 7 a.m. because that states that I am, which is right now, but you're saying that it's a routine, so that I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. You might even add in the word, I normally eat breakfast at 7 a.m. and that will state that you do something on a regular basis. So I'll let you look at the rest of those examples by yourself. Okay, and we have another list of examples here. Don't forget about the rules we talked about earlier, the three different forms of verbs, whether you're asking a question, whether you're stating something in the affirmative or the negative. The second use of these verbs, simple present, is in facts or generalizations. Now this one's pretty straightforward. A fact or generalization doesn't necessarily have to be true absolutely. The person may be wrong, but they're stating it as a fact. And so whether or not it actually is true, the person is stating it as if it was true before, is true now, and will be true in the future. So a few examples here. Cats like milk. Birds do not like milk. Now maybe a bird does like milk, but that doesn't really matter for our discussion here. You're stating something, and it's a generalization or a fact, and whether or not it's true, it's still a statement. Another use is a scheduled event in the near future. So this might apply to something like traveling on public transport. For example, in the first line here, we have the train leaves tonight at 6 p.m., which means it hasn't left yet, but it's going to leave. The bus does not arrive at 11 a.m., it arrives at 11 p.m. So this is something about talking about the future, but you're using present simple tense to describe that it will be happening. Now in use 4, there are non-continuous verbs. What a non-continuous verb, if you look here at our examples, these are verbs that may often express something abstract. For example, I cannot see physically that he loves to play basketball, but he may show signs of liking basketball a lot, in that maybe he plays it a lot. I may or may not be able to see that he owns that car, but maybe he has the title on a piece of paper for that car. And so that's an example, 2 examples of non-continuous verbs, okay? Can be used to show something that belongs to someone. Okay, there's also an abstract form of that. She seems nervous, okay? Now with mixed verbs, you can have multiple meanings with the same root verb. So for example, Nancy looks tired. Okay, that's non-continuous. But also, I can use the same verb look in a different form. Farah is looking at the pictures. That's a normal verb. So the root verb is look, but you can use it in 2 different ways to mean 2 different things.